We have something that they like to call on our planet that is known as blue black. Whenever you see a black person, that they like to call us, black people. Whenever you see somebody with this dark pigment, that they normally call that blue black. All right, now you'll notice a vast difference from African Americans in the Americas, and you go to Jamaica overseas, or you go to Africa. You'll notice that we have gods over here with dark pigmentations. Yes, we do. But you'll notice that over in Africa and overseas, you'll find even darker pigments. All right. The reason that is because Africa was attacked last. All right. So we were strong all over this planet. All right. Remember, this entire realm rather was Atlantis. So the entire realm of Atlantis, we were strong on this realm. All right. But our weak point. Hold on. Let me just give y'all a map. Let's pull up a map real quick just to get a visual going, all right? Because they told us history in reverse. History was told to us in reverse, all right? So the oppressor, when he taught us history, his version of the story, he had to hide everything from us, so he told it to us in reverse. We gonna straighten it out, though, all right? So first off, let us look at this world map. Let us understand something right away, that this is not the way the map looks. Every single state and country on this map is literally bigger than the size they are showing you on this map, and it is shaped completely different. All right, let the record reflect that before we keep reading this map. So we're only using this as a class reference, but let me let you all know, class, gods and goddesses, you are the elite. All right, we remembering who we are. This map of our realm looks shit like this. All right, it does not look like this, but that's a whole nother lecture. Okay, we want to look at Africa, what they call in Africa. We want to look at what they call in the Americas. Okay, so the Americas, a lot of people don't never consider Canada to be part of the Americas, but Canada is part of the Americas. So you got North America, which is all of Canada and the United States, President of the United States. You got Central America, which is all of Mexico. You see it? All of from Mexico down to right here, where they got Central America and Mexico connect. All of that will literally be Central America. And down here, this whole continent where you see Brazil and Chile and Peru, this whole continent, that's South America. So South America, Central America, North America, okay? Because they don't never really break it up like that. All right, so keep that in your mind. So this is the realm. We were everywhere, yes. As Atlanteans, Anunnaki gods, yes, we were everywhere on this realm. However, we did have weak points. All right, the resistance had weak points, okay? So when I say weak points, this doesn't mean that we were weak physically, but we might not have had as many pyramids set up, energetic pyramids, because everything was about communication or telecommunication, which the true form of telecommunication is telepathy. All right, when you think of telecommunication now, you think of people sitting in a building somewhere blowing people's phone up all day trying to make sales for the company. No, true telecommunication comes from telepathy. We will communicate telepathically. So that's why it was truly called telecommunication. But these oppressors stole everything from us and dumbed it down and, put his own wording on everything. OK. But I want y'all to look at where Africa is. This was our weak point. Now, they make you think, because history is told to us in reverse, right? They make us believe that Africa is where we all came from if you black. Where we all came from this one little landmass, and that this is a stronghold. When in reality, they tell you, they always have taught us that Africa has all the different forms of weather. Africa is rich in resources. All right. They have always told you that Africa is the richest place in resources. But guess what? They are lying. The richest place in resources is North America. This is why when these Pleiadians and Draconians landed on our realm, when they entered our realm through portals in the Caucasus Mountains is over here in the Russia, Europe area. This is all the Caucasus region. This is the deadest part of the land on this planet. Nothing literally grows in this area. Okay, so this is really what they were showing you in Lion King when Mufasa was showing Simba all of Pride Rock. And he said everything the light touches is ours. Well, before these draconian reptilians and Pleiadians and human beings ever came to our planet, Europe was always the deadest part of this realm. All right, that doesn't mean that we didn't use it, but it was just a dead spot. Like, we really hadn't built nothing up yet. It was still being worked on. Remember, it was a great war that took place here with Zeus. So once that war took place, all type of projects that were being built kind of ceased to exist because everything kind of went on hold once that war took place and nothing was ever the same again. So we never finished building up Europe. It's still to this day, it's the deadest part of the land. Like, nothing literally grows in Europe, but they'll fool you into believing London and Italy and France and Germany. And, you know, they'll have you thinking that all these little countries are world powers. Like, even right now, or the Middle East, like, but to this day, nothing grows in this area. No natural good fruits, grains, vegetation, nuts. All right. Notice this is also the coldest part of the planet. Russia, Germany, all of this is cold as fuck because this is the Caucasus region, which they have sealed up with ice nomads. All right. It's the hub for what they do. Their winter making technology is in Europe still to this day because they come out the Caucasus. So they still protect that portal. That portal is still there in the Caucasus Mountains. Let us not forget. Okay, let's pull up the Caucasus real quick. Pull up the Caucasus. Oh no, we not fucking around tonight. We just some colored, so we just some cordial colored concerned citizens. For real. All right, let's go back to the Caucasus, y'all. Caucasus Mountains. All right. Let's look at a real live picture of the Caucasus. Let's go to Wikipedia. Okay, so y'all can see this for yourself for those who never looked it up. Some should have. But this is the Caucasus Mountain area. Caucasus Mountains. They actually exist. This is why, let us not forget that this is why our ancestors, this is why we originally named them Caucasians or Caucasoids. Because they entered our realm. Okay? They entered our realm. This is the entire realm. They entered it through portals in the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus Mountains are still here to this day. Okay. And nothing grows over there in the Caucasus. It's completely frozen. It's been frozen since they ass landed here because that's where the portals that they entered through. So that's their headquarters. Look. Let's look at it. Caucasus Mountains. Look at this shit. Frozen. Y'all see this? This is where they come from. This is where they come from, y'all. This is where they come from. Look how dead this is. Nothing but portals under these. Remember, these was trees that they chopped down. All right. Before they chopped the trees down, there was giant trees here, but it was still a dead part of the land. This is the Caucasus Mountain area. All right. This is where they come from. So let us not forget that. So they come out the Caucasus. That's why this whole area is still cold as fuck to this day. Now, they have taught us that Africa is where all the resources is. In reality, all the resources is here. Why do you think they came and made the United States their headquarters? The United States is the world power, right? Yes, because this is their headquarters. All right, this is why Malcolm X said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. He was literally talking about spaceships landing on us, on our realm. All right. So when they came here, all right, they knew that all the resources is actually in over here in America. And Africa is actually Mexico. Mexico and Brazil. All this shit is actually Africa. But they got you thinking Africa is over here. The back of Africa starts with Arizona and it goes all the way down here. But they got you thinking Africa is over here. And that's why if you look at Africa, look at how Africa is shaped and look at how South America is shaped. You could tell they shaped. Look at Africa's shape and South America's shape. They shaped them the same, but they exaggerated Africa's shape just a little more to try to throw us off from the fact that Africa is still connected to what we think. That's why they got an ancient map that shows you Morocco and Egypt and all these different countries and states. They get deep. That's a whole different lecture, though. That's a whole different lecture. Let us stay focused. All right? Hold on. All right? Let us stay focused. So, now, it's a reason why they speak on this pigmentation that she has. When you see somebody with this pigmentation, all right, these are beings that have not went through the genetic raping, all right, that other tribes went through. They didn't go through as much of that, all right? The avatars didn't. So when the soul and spirit re-enters these certain avatars, all right, you see a lot of these tribes mostly over in Africa, okay? You will see this dark, deep pigmentation, which is different than this. You see? This comes from raping. This, no raping. Raping, no raping. But even over here, I would be considered chocolate and dark. You get what I'm saying? But standing next to her, I would be like a red bone. Damn near. I'll be like a yellow bone, red bone, caramel, whatever all them crazy names y'all be throwing out there. Shit, y'all know what all the names y'all be coming up with. I don't fucking know. Mocha, whatever the fuck y'all be saying. Shit. Y'all know what I'm saying, it. All right? But they even came, society has went out their way to make fun of this pigmentation. And we need to find out why. What's wrong with blue black? What's so wrong with this pigmentation? Why did they rape us to get us to this pigmentation and lighter, even lighter than mine? You know, it's people way lighter than me. We know that. I'm just saying. All right. Why? What's wrong with blue black? Why don't they like this color so much? Why? She was, what she say she was? Model was teased for her dark skin when she was younger. This is pure beauty though. But she was teased for that. But she has super high levels, all right, of carbon. Remember, when you're talking about the avatar, you're talking about carbon. All right. Remember, the spirit and soul is God. That's the God in you that even created the carbonated body, the crystallized body. We are dark matter energy beings. So when one has this deep dark color, that means you have more neuromelanin in you. Neuromelanin means you have higher dark matter energy levels naturally just because of how dark the avatar is. So that means she is naturally faster, stronger, a little more acute to things than we are just because her avatar hasn't been as tainted. That's just on the outside. We're just dealing with the outside right now, y'all. We ain't talking about the inside because the outside and the inside matters. The inside is the soul and the spirit. Spirit is what? Electricity. The soul is what? Magnetism, life force. All right. Keep that in mind. We're going to find out why that's so important. Now, on the outside, you have an avatar. You have skin. The skin is made of what? Carbon. All right? Carbon is what? The basis from which all life forms. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up real quick, y'all. Carbon, we talking about the outside. We're talking about the skin right now. So we talk about what gives the pigmentation this deep, rich blackness. Or this ain't even black. This is carbon. This is dark matter energy. Because we have never been black. But what gives the skin this deep, rich, carbon, native reflection like this? I mean, what gives the skin this deep, rich pigmentation like this? It's carbon. Now, what is carbon? Let's look it up. Let's go to Google real quick. Let's go back to the basics. So that we don't forget, let's go back over it. What is carbon? Pay attention, class. We getting deeper. What is carbon? What is carbon now? Hold on. It says carbon is a chemical element. All right. So like I told y'all, we was going to be talking about molecular biology, quantum physics, chemistry, metaphysics today in today's class. All right. So when you talk about carbon, you're talking about chemistry here. Carbon is a chemical element like hydrogen. Let's X out oxygen because that's bad. We already know oxygen is bad. That's the shit that they spray in the air. We're not supposed to breathe oxygen. We originally breathe hydrogen. All right. But let's stay focused. Carbon is a chemical element like hydrogen, lead, or any of the others in the periodic table. Carbon is a very abundant element. It exists in pure or nearly pure forms such as diamonds and graphite, but also can combine with other elements to form molecules. OK, but not only that, carbon, I'm going to put it in myself. Carbon is the basis. I like to use the scientific word, the basis from which all life is formed. Let me pull it up. Building block of life. Let's click on that. Maybe to show you. Boom. Carbon is the universal building block of life for life as we know it. All right. So all material, all this whole material environment. Look at all this around, y'all. Look at my house. All this little carbon is the basis for all of that. Not atoms. You would think it's atoms. We're going to get into atoms, but carbon is the basis for all of that. Carbon is the universal building block for life as we know it. Its ability to form complex, stable molecules with itself and other elements. This how intelligent carbon is, that it can form molecules it creates on its own. This is what we are filled with. This is what makes you God. All right? This is carbon. This is carbon. And the more of this you have, hold on, the more carbon you have, the darker the pigmentation. So this is where that old saying came from: the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't no freaky shit. It was talking about the atomic level of you, molecule, the molecular level of us, our DEA. This doesn't mean you're weaker than somebody, no, but your physical avatar, it affects your physical avatar. All right? So the reason we appear these deep, rich colors is because we have carbon. And this is the basis from which all life is formed. Okay? It's the building block for life. That's all you need to remember. And you are full of it. You are a carbonated being. And the more carbon you have, the deeper it's going to show, the darker the pigmentation. And this is why they fear you, the darker you are. This is why they always try to this is why they put the dark slave against the light-skinned slave, because even if you are light, you are still full of carbon. It's just people that are darker have more carbon. That's it. If you black, you full of carbon regardless. You're a carbonated being. You're black, or what they call Latino. All my Latino brothers and sisters. This is why I keep telling people, ain't no such thing as a Latino or African-American or black or any of that. If you go to the genetics of the people we consider Puerto Ricans and Latinos, they all are full of carbon. This is what allows us to feed the sun's frequency, y'all. The carbon. That's why the sun strengthens us. And if you lack carbon, it hurts you. Okay? The carbon now. So now that we know that the more carbon you have, the darker the pigmentation, now we know what blue-black, what we talking about when we talking about blue-black. We're talking about carbon. And when we're talking about the more carbon you have in the avatar, that says a lot about your dark matter energy levels. All right? Not on a soulful level. This could be confusing because it's deep, but not from a soulful level, not from a soulful perspective. Like, because a person could be dark than a motherfucker and still be sleep. Get what I'm saying? Just because you have a lot of carbon does not mean you're going to be vibrating high neither. That's still a battle that we all have to fight in this third density that when we enter this matrix. Light code lockdown is here. All right? But for people with carbon in their skin like this, guess what? It's easier for them to break light code lockdown because they have such high levels of this carbon, this dark matter energy. It's dark matter energy. And all black people and Latino people have this dark matter energy. It is the strongest form of energy in the universe. This is what they call, and the more of it you have, this is how we get to this blue-black terminology. But yeah, black reaches a point to where it begins to vibrate blue because this is what the blue flame is about. Remember, we've been talking about the Kundalini energy rising. All right. The Kundalini energy is the blue flame. All right. So carbon is very warm, but the blue flame is warmer. All right. So that's why our body temperature is warm. Think about it. Your body temperature is warm. Everything is warm. Everything in the cosmos is warm. Winter is unnatural. We're going to get to that, though. We're going to say that for later in the lecture. Okay? This is why they taught you to hate your skin. No matter if you're light skinned black, no matter if you're Latino, you this black, no matter what black. You got carbon in your skin. You are the basis from which all life is formed. Man. This is science right here, man. That you got to know about you. This ain't no shit to laugh about. This ain't no shit to joke about. This ain't even the time to be laughing right now. We got a time and a place for that. Y'all know we got our times we kick it. This ain't even one. Like, this has to be embedded in your soul. We discussed it tonight about blue, black, and neuromelanin. All right? All carbonated beings have neuromelanin. All right? If you lack carbon, you have melanin. So that means all white people have melanin. But you got black people, even though we know black ain't real, you got gods and goddesses walking around saying they got melanin in them because they have flipped it. They told us everything in reverse. Beings with melanin cannot take sunlight. They break out and get melanomas. They need suntan lotion. But carbonated beings need the sun, so you would never break out from being in it. At the most, you got some people that they have eczema. Your eczema might act up, but that's just has everything to do once again with the light cold lockdown. You're not finna break out into melanomas. That's a whole different type of thing. All right. So understand the science. We talking the chemical structure of us. All right. Now, hold on. When we talking about blue, right? The elites understand the power of blue. First off, when you talking blue, black, right? The darker, the more carbon, the more neuromelanin. Now you're finna break. Now you're further breaking this light code lockdown, right? Just with your avatar. This is what they trying to kill off. This is what they trying to kill off. Us. They trying to kill us off, right? It doesn't matter how dark you are. It doesn't matter. All right? It's just the darker you are, they make life harder for you. Like she say, she was teased for being that dark. And the lighter you are in society, to this day, it's still kind of like that. They show all the red bones get the love. See what I'm saying? All right? So, you still got gods and goddesses walking around saying they don't want to be in the sun too long because they don't want to get too dark. You with me? All right? We got this type of shit going on. Hold on. We got this type of shit going on. Look, this Safari. He tweeted this the other day. Started my skin bleaching process today. It's time for change. And it got 3,000 tweets, 1,000 likes, and 277 retweets. This celebrity, you see that goes blue check? That's Nicki Minaj ex-husband Safari. He talking about he want to bleach his skin. See what I'm saying? This type of shit we living in. You know, the kill off the neuromelanin is a real thing right now, man. The kill off the neuromelanin is a real thing right now, man. They want the melanin to pop, not the neuromelanin. That's why they don't care about you saying melanin popping, because you're basically spell casting what they want to happen. They want the melanin to be popping, not the neuromelanin. Know the difference. Know the difference. Supreme Reflection. Let me see your charger. Know the difference, Supreme Reflections. All right? Know the difference. Thank you. All right? Now, remember I told you, your original complexions were blue, green, and red. All right? That's why in the movie Avatar, they showed you this. They showed you the true skin complexions of your ancestors and how the avatars really looked at first. Okay? Look, check them out. Who you think they was depicting in this movie, man? Come on, man. They got a lot. Look, man. Who you think they was depicting? Hold on, Pinterest. We ain't fucking with you. All right. This Avatar, y'all. Okay. Come on, man. Who you think they depicting in this movie Avatar? Us. Look at the details. Look at the piercings in the ears, the gauges. That's us. The locks or braids with crystals on them. Us. She got crystals on her neck. He got crystals around his neck. Them supposed to be locks. That was depicting us in this movie. All right? They was depicting us through the whole movie. But knowing we didn't know. They showed you how the planet looked in this movie and everything. But when you talking about these blue complexions, man, this is what they fear. This is what we going back to. Motherfuckers is going back blue and green and red. You know what I'm saying? Because we are going back to breathing hydrogen again. This is why many of you are struggling, having headaches, feeling weird, because we are going through retrogrades. Retrogrades has a retrograde is when the atmosphere is basically being cleaned up because we are breathing oxygen. But you have the Nerubians here cleaning up the skies right now. I keep telling you, planet Nibiru is a planet, a spaceship, and a sun. It looks just like a sun. Some days it's out there, you think it's the sun, and it's not. It's planet Nibiru. All right? We are going back, though. Look at this. We are going back to this state of breathing nothing but hydrogen. Look at what she got around her neck. Those are crystals. Crystals. Because that represents how we connected back then. All right? They have always put this shit in the movies. All right? But we were blue. All right? Let me show the vision real quick. Remember I told y'all that they are soulless beings. So they can't create nothing in Hollywood. They only can replicate what has actually happened. You know what I'm saying? I told you that we used to have little chips in our heads. All right, that connected us. Check this out. That connected us to these ancient pyramids that we had that were made out of these giant crystals. Look at this in the movie Avengers. This is their superhero, Vision. And what is that in the center of his head? A crystal. And that's exactly the way the crystal sat in the middle of our head. And I've showed this to the class before, but I'm just connecting more dots tonight. All right? We actually had crystals like this, and some of us were actually red like he is. And notice in the movie, Thanos couldn't even win the fucking war till he got the Soul Stone. And who had the Soul Stone? Vision. And where was it? In the middle of his head. Yeah, they put all this shit in the movies, man. All right? They put it all in the movies. Put it right in front of you. All right? So, let's go to the Smurfs, right? When they came out with this cartoon a long time ago called the Smurfs, you know, a lot of people love this cartoon and it went over people's head. We didn't know, you know, what we know today. Okay? But in reality, they were mocking your ancestors, man. All right? The Smurfs, this was actually a group of Atlanteans that lived on this realm that were actually called the Smurfs. All right? And they were actually blue. And they were actually someone where they were smaller because they were part of the elemental families. All right. All of your magical elemental beings exist, but the Smurfs actually exist. Very intelligent elemental beings. All right. That were killed off. But then, you know, they killed them off. All right. And then they put a movie out about them, a cartoon out about them and mock them and make money off it. The Smurfs. But the reason they had them blue is because we were breathing hydrogen and oxygen. So we were all in this format. All right. And even if you read about the Smurfs, right? Check this out. Check this out real quick. If you read about the Smurfs, go to Wikipedia. Let's read their story, right? Check it out. What were they into? Check it out. The Smurfs. Let's read their storyline. Check this out. The storyline tends to be simple tales of bold adventure. The cast has a simple structure as well. Almost all characters look essentially alike, mostly male. This was replicated to make, this was actually mocking fun of our species because in the beginning, our species was all what? Feminine, female. Okay? So, and it was a few males in the beginning. So with the Smurfs, they flipped it. And they made it mostly male with a few females like they did in their Bible. All right? Check it out. And they only gave you 3 females. Why? Because we understand the power of the 3, 6, and the 9. So they understand the power of the Trinity. They gave you Smurfette, Sassette, and Nanny Smurf. All right? Now, this was all by design. All right? With blue skin, white trousers, with a hole for their short tails, while white hat in the style of Prygrian caps. All right. Now now check this out. Let's keep reading more about them. All right. Smurfs can walk and run, but often move by skipping on both feet. So when you're talking about skipping on both feet, that's a form of flotation or levitation in a way, which is what your ancestors did anciently. Okay. Now check out what they ate. They love to eat sarsaparilla, which is a species of grapes. Let's click on it and see. Exactly. A species of grapes, which these grapes help to heal certain things in the avatar naturally. And this is why they kind of keep this hidden from the public. All right. And they tainted most of them. And they mostly found in like Mexico. Right. Exactly. Mexico and Central America. Right. Exactly. Because this is the strongest part of Atlantis. Let's go back to the map. What was the strongest part of Atlantis? The Americas. Remember that. Remember that. All this is connected. Okay. How they put this shit right in our faces. We talk about blue, black, and the power of blue. All right. And why they fear it. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. Where we at? Where we at? What was we at? We was right here. All right. This was the Smurfs eat, though. Okay. The Smurfs eat this. How in a cartoon, this is something they eat. And not only did our ancestors eat this, because this also helped to keep the avatar more fully charged with electricity, which will help keep the avatar more youthful, if you want to call it that. And it just so happened the Smurfs did the same damn thing in the fucking cartoon. See what I'm saying? And they know you ain't gonna look into this type of shit. They know you don't know what your ancestors was eating and about the sarsaparilla plants and shit like that. They know that. And in the cartoon, they hid them under the name, whose berries the Smurfs naturally call Smurf berries. So in the cartoon, they were called Smurf berries, but this was the Smurf berries actually represented the sarsaparilla that our ancestors used to eat. And this is a plant that still exists to this day. We don't need no medication. You eat the sarsaparilla, you talking about youthfulness and not avatar, not age, and all that shit. You get what I'm saying? Because they will be fighting off the oxygen and the more gelatin naturally, and they tainted this. The government has this shit. Facts. All right. We diving real fucking. We getting in there today. All right. And check it out. We never age. So when they get to telling you about how the Smurfs, Grandpa Smurf was old as 100 years old, that's just going to show you how we were timeless beings. Age represents what? If something is old, you can say it's what? Ancient. So the way the elites like to hide our truth when they do put our shit in their cartoons, they want to say how old the Smurfs were able to get. So the whole story of the Smurfs was about not only our species, but a subset of us called the Smurfs that actually existed. All right, that they killed off. All right, I ain't got to keep going into the language and Smurf village and their economy, because all this shit is about us. All right, the Smurfs is about us and how they killed us off. And they made fun of the shit and put it in a cartoon and made a lot of money off it. All right, but it's all about killing off the blue. All right, we still talking about blue, black, and blue. The Smurfs were blue. Why? Breathing all that hydrogen. But blue also represents the highest vibration, which is the blue flame. All right, that's why in Dragon Ball Z, they always taught the highest form was Super Saiyan Ultra Blue and shit like that. All right, but let's keep going. Let's keep diving into blue in Egypt. All right. What does the color blue mean in ancient Egypt? The ancient Egyptian word signifies blue and green. Why? Because most of us was blue, green, or red, with the majority of us being blue or green. And then a subset of us was red. Facts. All right. Let's keep going. What does the color blue mean in ancient Egypt? Check it out, y'all. Check it out. In ancient Egypt, blue, one of the most popular colors because of its vibration, y'all. We know the vibration of blue. All right. We know the way it pertains to us metaphysically as well. Let us not forget that blue represents pineal gland. All right. Let us not forget what blue represents. All right. But check it out, because the ancient Egyptians who the people they call the ancient Egyptians were part of our ancestors. OK, even though we know Egypt was an actual planet, which is a whole nother lecture I'll make. But yeah, I'll probably do that next week. Talk about planet Egypt. All right. But let's see what the Egyptians, who are our ancestors, who were more in tune because they want a higher vibration, what they thought about the color blue. All right. One of the most popular colors, commonly referred to as Egyptian blue, was made from what? Copper and iron oxides. That's what I want y'all to see. Copper and iron. All right? Copper and iron. Copper and iron oxides with silica and calcium. Lies. All right? But it symbolized fertility, birth, rebirth, and life. And usually used to depict water in the heavens, right? So when we talk about the heavens, we just talk about the cosmos. You know, Google gonna still play with certain words to throw you off. Like right here, it was made from copper and iron. The silica and calcium, lies. All right? Now, let's get deeper into it, though. Look at how many Egyptian paintings that your ancestors left of these blue gods. Egyptian paintings. All right. Look at them. Egyptian paintings. Look how many Egyptian paintings depicted blue ancestors. Do you think they just drew this shit to draw it? They feel like drawing some shit. Niggas just felt like drawing some shit that day. You know, niggas spent thousands of years. They made him brown. They made him brown, made her brown. But all of a sudden she's yellowish green and he's blue. You think they did that by accident? You think this was by the accident? That's Osiris. Think this was by accident, man? That they painted these Egyptian paintings of us as blue? These were our original pigmentations when we vibrated higher. Okay, now keep in mind, we now are copper because we are vibrating lower. We are breathing in oxygen, which rusts out the body and kills the hydrogen. So now instead of vibrating these beautiful blues and greens and reds, we are copper complexion. But we are only copper still because we are full of carbon. The carbon is what made us blue, red, and green originally. But this is how we look before the atmosphere was drained. Look, that's why they drew so many of the Egyptian gods blue, man. That wasn't by accident. That's not them being funny. These are our original pigmentations. Look, green, blue. You're going to see a lot of that go through Egyptian. And every Egyptian painting ain't like that because you'll also see these pigments. All right, so when they drew these, most of these motherfuckers who call themselves historians, they not tapped in with the ancestors. They don't know how to read these paintings. They don't even know what this represents. When you see these on the wall, this represents a change in frequency. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all, this is a good one, right? This is supposed to be the tomb of Nefertiti, right? On the left, supposed to be Osiris. On the right, supposed to be Atum. Okay? Osiris is Atum. This is what most historians don't know. Osiris and Atum are the same individual. Okay? But the reason that Osiris is green right here is because we were in a higher frequency. We were at a higher frequency. Hold on, reflections. I let the iPad die. So, hold on. Let me let it come back on. But yeah, though, we were at a higher frequency, though. Hey, man, you pour me some orange juice real quick. Okay. We back. Here we go. We back. Boom. All right. So the reason that Osiris is green right here is because we were on a higher frequency. This represents we were vibrating on the 33rd dimension and higher before these beings came and invaded our planet. Now, right here, when you see them, this copper complexion, this represents after the fall, after they conquered us, after they came in, you know, because they started spreading oxygen in the air. That was part of the original when they raided us, when they ransacked us, they were spraying oxygen. They blew up our crystal towers. They pushed our sun away. Well, our second son away. Okay, so this represents a change in frequency. A lot of historians don't know that because they're not tapped in like that. So when you go to all these Egyptian paintings and you see them go from green and blue, and then all of a sudden this the same two people. But people reading this painting think this is 4 different people because they're not tapped in. I can read this because I'm tapped in. I'm divine insight. Grandmaster teacher of the 8th universe. So I'm just here to help enlighten and inform and remind you. That's why I came back. That's my entire mission. Yeah, I laugh and I joke, but that's just part of me helping remind you who you are.